Hey everybody, it's Casey at Brokeback Adventures, and we are outside Quantico, Virginia. I'm actually not sure, but we're somewhere in that neighborhood. Um, Beautiful, crisp fall morning. Looks like November 13th. Nice. Still not bad. Woke up to some frost this morning for the first time, but we were prepared, had some layers, plenty of blankets, so wasn't that bad. Had a good sleep. Right off the highway in a little stealth spot I found. It wasn't bad. Um, Somebody asked me where my tent was. My cousin did on Facebook, and I was like, well, tents attract attention. But the way I had it set up, it just looked like an abandoned bike. I set this crazy thing up and wrapping around so you can't see Hank and I sleeping. Speaking of Hank, he's in his usual state. If you've never seen a basset in its natural state, check it out. There he is. Yeah, he's soaking up some sunbeams. And thanks to our buddy Phil Rowe, who hooked him up with this gangster puffy jacket. He's pretty cool. He's doing all right. But the big news is that is a 2024 greenspeed magnum SD. The folks over at Whiz Wheels caught wind of what I was doing, liked what I was doing, and found me worthy of a new trike. I was, excuse me, you saw in some of the other videos, it was about a 2000 greenspeed GTO, steel frame bike, and great bike, don't get me wrong, but it was, all the components were outdated, and trying to find parts for it was a nightmare, and it was breaking a little more than I needed. Definitely boned up on my bicycle mechanic skills over the about 1,400 miles so far. Broken chains, exploded rear hub, blah 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 blah. Fixed them all on the fly. It was quite the experience. Don't get me wrong, I really dug that GTO. I'm gonna have to sell it so I can get some funding to keep this adventure going. And bam. So let's look at it a little bit. Although I've got it loaded up with bags and stuff, and I'm not going to take it all apart to show you that stuff. But some of the stuff that's really cool is my old Greenspeed had Hope hydraulic discs, and they were good, but once again, you couldn't find parts for them. I tried to rebuild them, and the right brake lever master was leaking, and no big deal, like an old car, you just keep adding brake fluid, and they worked well, but there was, everything else was getting tired. I broke the chain, had to get a new chain in New York City. Broke the chain on 5th Avenue. I was like, man, that was exciting. So anyhow, we'll do a little walk around. Things are kind of a mess right now. I've got from Roberta yesterday. Had a nice chat with her. Forgot to get the selfie. She hooked me up with an atlas, because I'm old school, man. I'd rather have a paper map. So I'm sitting here studying. Well, not that page. Not that page either. Is that it? Regardless. Anyhow, was looking at the map, trying to decipher a little more reasonable routes. But unfortunately with maps, you can't tell how busy the road is, so we'll find out when we get there. But we got I told him I didn't want anything to do with the drum brakes. I'll sacrifice quick release wheels for disc brakes any day of the week and twice on Sunday. There's a reason cars have four-wheel disc brakes now as opposed to drums and stuff. But these are Avid DB7 discs, or calipers, and they're nice brakes. How you doing? Work very well. They're not quite the stopping power as the Hopes did, but plenty to keep this 350-pound mess, get it stopped in plenty of time. Other things, overall length of it's about the same in my GTO, but they stretched the wheelbase out. So instead of the wheels being, nearly under your butt like the GTO was, they moved those forward. And the other curious thing, I don't know if it's just how they arc the cruciform here. I'm assuming that's what did it. You don't get the brake steer. In GTO, you could steer with the brakes. I mean, which was cool in performance things, and that's why, I don't really want to get rid of it, but I'm going to have to. Because, you could sit there and lean in a corner and grab whatever way you're turning brake, and you barely had to touch a wheel. You could just get that direction out of it. So, we'll get into some details, because I know some of you guys like details. My lighting game is up to snuff. I've got 3 up front. They're all pretty bright. Looks like a jet coming at you at night. I named it Smoke because that's the color they call it. I liked it because it's a matte gray finish, like smoke gray, and I really like it because, and I wanted this one because it's very stealthy aside from the bright yellow bags. And sometimes when you're stealth camping, the operative word is stealth, and you don't want a bunch of bright colors. And it was really hard to hide the bike and the trailer. It was just, everything stuck out like a sore thumb. Pedals are generic, nothing to write home about. Somewhere down the road I'll upgrade those. Rear derailleur is a Shimano Tiagra, which was odd. I thought it was going to be a micro shift, like the bar end shifters, but it's a Shimano Tiagra. It's a 10-speed rear cassette. It's not geared low enough, so we're on our way to Richmond, Virginia, and we're going to get a new front crank set put on it with a triple ring and a 30, 39, and a 50. Because with this weight, I'm not going for speed, but I really need that low end underdriven low end grunt, because I'm not using a motor. It's all thighs and butts for me, and so we're going to get it geared down a little bit. So these hills, particularly, I'm going through right now, I'm making it, but I mean, yes, I haven't even got 100 miles on it, or broke the chain once, but it was operator error. I'm still learning on the fly, but fortunately, I kept the length of chain that I had on it, that it came with, just because I had to shorten it up. The bags are nothing special. The Rock Brother Ortlieb knockoffs, and they've been working great. Keeps everything dry. They're 27 liters. You can stuff a lot of junk in those things. The top bag is a old Giant that came with my GTO. I love that bag, man. That's surprisingly roomy. It holds a lot of stuff. And of course, we went through the trailer. We've got a tent in there. Somebody just gave me a tent, of all things. That was crazy. So we just hooked it up in the extra space, because the greenspeed's just a bigger trike that Magnum is. There's this handy spot, holds a tent very nicely. The other nice thing about this is, we'll get down here if I can, because they keep making the ground lower the older I get. But with these new ones, they're a fully adjustable seat, and as you can see there, you can adjust the height. Back here you can adjust your angle from 33 degrees to 45 or something like that. I like mine low and lean back. I like it low for center of gravity. I like it lean back because any pressure on the spine I can take off. I'm game. As I've mentioned before, I wrecked my back over the years. It's got more metal in my neck than a Metallica concert. So far, it's a great riding trike for a non-suspension trike. My goodness, it's got the 2-inch Duros on it, which I was surprised. I figured it'd have Schwablies since that's part of Whiz Wheel's product line. But I like the Duros because there's no reflector on it. Once again, for stealth. I know you want to be seen, reflective surfaces, blah blah. But for my particular purposes, the stealthier the better. Probably should have got black bags with just some simpler reflective material on them, but maybe down the road. Right now, I just picked up this Jackery Mini solar setup. It's a 40-watt foldable panel. It folds into about the size of a tablet. That's handy. Fits right into the bags. And the little power station right there that's getting charged right now. I could have charged it right over at the 7-Eleven yonder, but it's actually charging faster with the solar panel, because the solar panel, in good sun, yesterday I tried it out and I was getting 28 watts. The most you're going to get out of a wall wart's 7. So yeah, it charges the power bank a lot faster by solar. Who knew? It's also going to come in handy because you just don't have power sources handy all the time. I'm just kind of taking my time right now. I should be rolling, but I want to get everything charged up, and I got to stretch my legs a little bit, get back into the flow of things. I had a 10-day stay at my friend Phil Rowe. Thank you, Phil Rowe. You saved my life because I was in clinical exhaustion when I rolled up to his house, because my dumb ass thought, yeah, I don't need no stinking brakes because I'm Superman. No, absolutely wrong. I was wiped out when I rolled into his place. So there she is. That's Smoke. And Smoke is going to get me to Florida and points beyond and keep this show a-going. So, let me get out. There we go. From Hank. Where you at, Hank? There he is. And myself, Casey. Brokeback Adventures. We'll see you down the road. Peace to y'all. Take care.